Wow, what a great conference this has been. Again, the water cooler. Thank you all for what you do day in and day out in believing, having the vision 0 to 5 and beyond, the continuum 0 to 20. Whatever way we look at it, we're all connected in this big education continuum. And thank you. And thank you, Molly Munger and the Advancement Project for just believing in this, envisioning it, and making it happen. So thank you so much for that leadership. And Camille, you're a champion. You're amazing. You're right, this panel sort of set up our discussion. I was asked to give a brief overview of the budget as it relates to education and early learning, but I can't say enough about Camille. Just, again, a champion. Where is she? Camille, don't be hiding behind the ferns there. We love you, and you're just an awesome leader, and there were champions here on stage from all of the vantage points you just heard. Very engaging, stimulating conversation, but I do have to do a shout out to Hannah Beth Jackson. Senator Jackson and the Women's Caucus just fought fiercely for the money that was needed, and it was not a one-year deal, it was a multiple-year build-up, and we thank the governor and the legislature. We thank the governor and the legislature for providing extra funding for slots, for a rate increase, and that $250 million went a long way, and the grants towards the QRIS system went a long way as well. And Kevin McCarty, I just had the privilege of testifying in front of his Education Budget Committee this morning, so had about a 40-minute presentation, and I'm going to condense it because any person or politician that stands in the way of people eating their lunch can be in jeopardy. But I just want to say there's overall some very good news in education in California. In the K-12 area, we're seeing $2 billion more than last year. We're seeing over the last 5 years going from $47 billion a year to $71 billion a year, going from $7,500 a year per student to $10,500 a year per student now. Do you like that? Isn't that good? And again, we've seen investments in programs that needed help, and I'll talk more about how much they need help in just a few minutes, like preschool and like the daycare, quality child care programs we have. So it's an exciting time as we have new standards, new assessments, we have new accountability systems, and I am amazed every day at how our teachers and the classified staff that are in front of our kids, who are helping our kids learn from the preschool faculty and staffs all the way up to high school and beyond. It's just amazing what they're doing to step up to these enormous historic challenges and changes. And I know the PTA, I had dinner at your table last night, they're also at the vanguard of helping prepare parents and help parents move into this new era. So thank you, PTA. Let's hear it for PTA. So I asked a couple of questions. With that good news, is it enough? Is it adequate? Is it where California should be in terms of the level we invest to reflect how much we care about our kids at all ages? And I say no. I say that we must invest more, much more. And that is why I'm supporting a continuation in some form of Prop 30. There is a measure out on the street, an initiative going forward, and we need that $8 billion a year. We cannot let go of that $8 billion a year. It's been the savior to bring us back. Along with the strong economy, we were cutting, art, music, drama, civics, science. We saw 50,000 teachers and classified laid off. We had confusion, uncertainty, so much uncertainty that the pipeline of new teachers to come into the profession has shrunk down to practically, 1/4 of what it was just a few years ago. So we have some enormous challenges there, and we need to invest so much more. I wanted to share something with you in terms of a comparison on per pupil investment. So I say we must invest more, and Prop 30 is part of that. But let's just compare, and part of the panel did it by looking at New York. Let's just compare California in the year that this survey was done, 2013. At that time, we had $8,200 per pupil. New Hampshire had $13,000. Massachusetts, $15,000 per pupil. Vermont, $16,000 per pupil. New Jersey, $18,000 per pupil. And New York, $20,000 per pupil investment. And guess what? their academic performances were also high. There's a correlation. Money matters. How you invest it, of course, matters. But we saw that the academics were stronger in the states that invested more in their students and in the future. So we do need to do much more. Californians clearly care about their schools and are willing to invest in education. Our residents, our voters have consistently supported and passed local bond measures, parcel taxes, but they expect the state of California, the legislature, and the governor to keep education as the top priority that it is, embedded in the Constitution and underscored as the top priority. So, yes, we're here. How many of you are here for Dr. Cool? Wasn't that cool? She was cool. She's amazing. So, where to invest? The research is in. Well, it keeps on coming in. And Dr. Cool just underscored brain growth, brain development, and again, the need to start early at 0 and get going all the way. So we know about the budget gap I told you about compared to other states. There's a 30 million word gap. You know about that, and we're here to work on that. We know that English learners start off even farther behind, and so we are cognizant of that and need to work on that. We see the pernicious and persistent achievement gap, which you all, and it's part of this water cooler conference, turn around and say it's an opportunity gap, because all these young children come starting with an open mind and an exploring mind. And so I didn't bring my cell phone with me, but I always carry my 2 grandsons' photos right there when I open up my cell phone. And if you want to see my grandkids later, I'll be proud to share that. But Anthony and Mateo, Anthony just turned 6, and I'm glad he did, because he when I asked him his age, after age 5, it was 5 1/4, then it was 5 1/2, then it was 5. So he was learning math even as a 5-year-old. And then Mateo, his younger brother, is 2 years old. Their father's a Frenchman, so they're immersed in learning 2 languages, and they're doing great at it. But isn't this what we want to see for all of our kids? I see them constantly curious, endlessly inquisitive, yearning for learning, exploring the world, and getting so much out of it. And luckily, they have wonderful parents. My daughter and my son-in-law are great. But isn't this what we want for all of our children, to keep that natural curiosity alive, right? So I'll just touch very briefly on the governor's proposal and early learning and the proposed changes. You're learning about the block grant, $1.7 billion, to be dispersed by the local LEAs. A number of questions are there, obviously huge questions that need to be answered. What about quality? How would you maintain quality? How would you spread and increase and enhance quality? And then not to cap. Assembly Member McCarty just made the point. Is this a way to cap the investment in early learning? It shouldn't be. We have a lot more 4-year-olds, a whole cohort of 4-year-olds that aren't yet signed up for TK, and we need to grow the budget. We need to grow the investment in these early years. So it's critically important to work on this area. I'll show you 2 graphs, and you can't read them, but I'll tell you what it is. This is the K-12 spending from 2007 to 2016, and it started in 2007 at $10,000 per pupil investment, dropped, and now it's back to about where it was. It's not adjusted for inflation, so it's still less money than schools had in 2007. This is a chart of preschool, of infant, toddler, preschool, school-age children, and it shows that in 2007, there were 345,000 slots or positions for these kids. That has shrunk today to 270,000. We're 76,000 preschool and childcare slots down from where we were. And so while K-12 is being made whole, what we're understanding where we want to invest more early, it's not happening. And so we need to do so much more to recover those 76 positions down. But wouldn't it be nice if we also had the conversation here instead, go beyond that? What about full-day kindergarten? What about mandatory kindergarten? Do you know that 15 to 20% of our families aren't bringing their kids to kindergarten? So these are the kind of things we need to focus on. These are the kind of things you're focusing on. I can't thank you enough for your leadership, for your passion, who you are, what you stand for. And let's talk, read, sing. So I'll finish with saying thank you, First Five. And we partnered with First Five, the Department of Education, Secretary Diana Dooley, Health Secretary, were there, arm linked arm. George Halverson was there. So we know that we need to stimulate the mind, build brains, right? Develop those brains, build a brighter future. Thank you again for what you do. Take care.